screen is razor thin and light. The stand compacts into something that is about the size of a small box of chocolates. I travel the world, but I also really love going into our offices. I spend a lot of time in Santa Clara, which is where our headquarters is located. I spend a lot of time in New York, which is where our new flagship innovation center is located. I'm here in Sydney and Melbourne. I have a global role. And part of what excites me is spending time with our teams in our global offices. But at the same time, work itself, the things I'm responsible for, the things I'm responsible for creating, the people I'm responsible for engaging, who are also all over the world, they don't neatly fit on a 14-inch laptop screen. So I travel with an espresso display. And I have traveled with an espresso display in the most intense of travel scenarios. So why do I do that? So I started with the 15.6. And I did that because I needed to extend my screen because one, whether I'm meeting people virtually or whether we're collaborating in a my goodness, the apps I use beyond PowerPoint and Word and Teams and Outlook, we use things like Miro, or I use things like DALL-E, but I use tools where I need the visualization of bringing these things to life. I launched a newsletter called AI Insights. I launched a real life sort of gathering of venture capitalists and founders in San Francisco called Renaissance because of the AI in Renaissance. And those logos were created on the road using an espresso display to bring my design samples to life. I wouldn't have been able to do that otherwise. It would have been too frustrating. And so it's not just even becoming more productive, it's actually being more creative in the real life. When I'm not in the office, I'm on the road, and I don't want to be on the road and not be able to do the great things I can do when I'm in the office or when I'm at home. And so the point of this is that work reimagined, whether it's at home or in the office, is it's got to be the same. It's got to be the same. We will use this in a way that I want anyone listening or watching to know this is totally honest. This is not paid. I'm not an influencer. I was introduced to espresso by my colleague Rose. And Rose is a great customer of espresso for our innovation team. And we were in the office in Santa Clara, and they all walked into the meeting. Everyone had their espresso displays. Everybody had their espresso stands. And I felt inadequate. And I said, what is going on here? They said, oh yeah, we all have these espresso displays. It makes us more productive. We're always on the go. And even when we're in the office, we bring these to the conference room so that we can do all of the things we need to do. We're tracking numbers. We're tracking things that you can't do on one screen. And I was inspired, and I said, I feel FOMO. And Rose took care of me. You know, she said, don't worry, by the time you get back, you'll be part of the club. And that was certainly the case, and it was a game changer. I live in a world that's just constant tech innovation. And so that thing goes with me everywhere, around the world. And everywhere I go, it's funny because I used to be productive, and it's almost counterproductive in the sense that people always stop what I'm doing. What is that? What are you using? What are you doing? I think, oh, all right, you got it. I'll tell you all about it. But it has been such a game changer because it's real. It's the intentionality of the work. And when your work, like my wallpaper says, creating. When your work is designed to do the extraordinary, you can't just be confined by the fact that your screen or any technology is holding you back. So I graduated from the 15.6 to the 17. The 15.6 extended my workspace. I still use the 15.6. But the 17 has unlocked a work experience that I didn't know to expect. I'm finalizing my next book. I cannot write it on my 14-inch screen. I could use it for research. I could use it for whatever I need to learn. But that 17 is vertical. And it is the page, the way that you would expect to see the page in portrait. And that is my main screen. My laptop is off to the side.
Wow.
So that is wild. I do have a keyboard, but it has changed my mobile productivity just in that regard. I also, though, I know there's a million other things I could talk about in terms of drawing and graphic design and the things that I do, but just that alone was a game changer, because I do that at home and I do that in the office, but now I can do that at 4K is the sweetest thing. But additionally, though, when it is landscape, that is my main screen. The laptop is my secondary screen. Everybody always asks, I can't believe you travel with that. That looks like a lot of work. So I always promise, well, I'll post what it looks like all broken down. Well, here's me describing what it's like broken down. The screen is razor thin and light. The stand compacts into something that is about the size of a small box of chocolates. The battery is the size of a small box of chocolates. The battery powers your display and your laptop. There is nothing in the game that's like this. Nothing in the game that's like this. And I say that because there are displays, you could plug them in, you could take them with you, but they're nothing like this. And so if it's one thing I've said at the beginning, it's one thing I'll say consistently. I'll always say this. Espresso displays are the Apple of this market. The packaging, the design, the experience, the support. You and I met each other before we even knew each other. The customer service was amazing, and that's because something happened to my cable while I was traveling, and you ensured that I was up and running while I was traveling. This is all next level. Not just about productivity, it's about experience. And this is the A game.